Everybody, and welcome back to your own YouTube channel, Speak of with Sahil. Thank you very much for tuning in. And this is your mate Sahil. I have come back after a long time. Literally, I was kind of busy making videos because I gotta do something back then. That is why I could not make some of the videos for you. But now I'm just promising myself and promising to you that now onwards I'm going to be very consistent making YouTube videos, and I'm going to give you an amazing and the most amazing content so far, like on current affairs, geopolitics, and English, and personal development, self-help books recommendations. I'm going to do each and everything on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, I would tell you to subscribe it now, and please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button so you will get tuned so far whenever I upload a certain video. So as we know, a stunning victory has crowned Donald Trump the most consequential American president since Franklin D. Roosevelt, after defeating Kamala Harris, and not just narrowly but by a wide margin. America's 45th president will become its 47th. The fact that Mr. Trump will be the first to win non-consecutive terms since Grover Cleveland in 1892 does not start to do justice to his achievements. He has defined a new political era for America and the world. In some ways, the Trump era is very modern. It was made possibly by technological changes and media fragmentation at a time when distinguishing law from politics and politics, law from politics and politics from showbiz is hard, but it is also a return to an old idea of America. Before the fight against fascism convinced FDR that it was in his country's interest to help bring order and prosperity to the world, the country was hostile towards immigration, scornful of trade, and skeptical of foreign entanglements. In the 1920s and 1930s, that led to dark times. It could do so again. After Tuesday's victory, the world lies at Trump's feet. He has won a mandate and probably the control over Washington. He needs to exercise it in what was supposed to be knife-edge election. Mr. Trump carried most of the battleground states thanks to big swings in states that were never in doubt, including Florida, New Jersey, New York. He has also won. I think he has also won the popular vote, as the polls predicted. He enjoyed a big surge in support from Latino man, but woman whom Miss Harris had expected to move to her also swung towards Mr. Trump. His victory will be made complete by Republicans retaking the Senate and seems likely holding on to the House. Recently, I read this news that he made Mike Waltz a new state secretary. Maybe no, I think the advisor, a personal advisor, finance advisor. I don't know. I read about it. I could not go through that news so deeply, but the person who personally criticized China, the person who personally criticized what's going on in Gaza, the person who was always against Joe Biden's policy of calling off the American army from Afghanistan. So what he did exactly, that was quite commendable. And when we talk about back then in 2021, just 1 year after his presidency, so when he called off the American armies, I think this person was the one who stood up against Joe Biden and said, we must reestablish the American army over there, so people in Afghanistan, especially Afghani people, will have no horrific or will have no consequences against Talibanis, and Talibans won't be able to attacking this Afghanistan anymore. And as American army had been called by Joe Biden himself, suddenly we saw a Taliban attacked Afghanistan, and now you can see the worst case scenario in Afghanistan so far. So there will be time for reincarnation among Democrats about about went wrong, but the early answer is almost everything. Poll after poll said that under President Joe Biden, the country was going in the wrong direction. Voters never forgave him for the burst of inflation that began in the summer of 2021. The Biden administration promoted a view of culture that is out of step with most Americans, especially on sex and gender, which featured in a lot of Trump campaign. That's clearly changed in a Trump campaign. The party compounded its errors by covering up Mr. Biden's disqualifying frailty until it was undeniable. By then, they had no time to find a political talent capable of beating Mr. Trump. Something deeper is afoot. too. In 2016, some people comforted themselves with the thought that Mr. Trump's presidency was an aberration by choosing to overlook his attempts to stop the transfer of power to Mr. Biden. Mr. Biden choosing to overlook his attempts to stop transfer of his power to Mr. Biden in 2020. Voters have shown how wrong that conclusion was. Instead, they have endorsed Mr. Trump's, unbounded exploitation of partisanship as the basis of his policies. Absolutely, and his politics as well, including the slander of his opponents as corrupt and treacherous. This has spread cynicism and despair about the merits of government that may serve him but will not serve America's democracy. MAGA is a moment of iconoclasm against the kind of benign internationalists who occupied the White House for 70 years. This week, a majority of voters embraced it with their eyes open. If Trump has wrecked the old order, what will take its place? Where is the old American champion of free trade? Mr. Trump will accelerate the return to pre-war, clearly mercantilism. He is believer in tariffs, trade deficit. He claims of proof that foreigners are taking his country for fools. On his watch, America is likely to be spendthrift as he and his party push through tax cuts, which will further widen the budget deficit. Mr. Trump has promised massive deregulation that may well bring benefits, but the next president loves power and craves, completely sycophancy. There is a risk he will carve out special deals of his supporters, such as Elon Musk, the world's richest man. Our hope is that Mr. Trump will avoid these pitfalls, and we acknowledge that in his first term he mostly did. Our fear is that during his presidency he will be at his most radical and unrestrained, especially if, as America's oldest ever president, his powers begin to fail him. Having learned from Trump won, his team will set out to ensure that no one who is likely to restrain him will be appointed to the administration. Mr. Trump will therefore be able to put his control of Congress and his popular mandate to maximum use. This is what's going to exactly happen. And the old order in the new world, Mr. Trump would no doubt, retort that this is world's problem, not America's. Under him, America can get on with their lives free from the way of foreign responsibilities. And yet, two world wars and the ruinous collapse of trade in 1930s say that America does not have that luxury for a time. Possibly for years, America may do fine. Eventually, the world will crush up with it. Let's see what's going to happen with this President Donald Trump. I'm quite happy to seeing him back, to the White Office, and we're going to see what's going to happen to him next and what's going to happen to the US in these upcoming 4 years. Two things for sure that we have to talk. The first thing we can talk about the Russia and Ukraine war, which is going on, and there are a lot of people who are saying that his first day in office he had a call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, which was not the case, literally, to be honest. And recently report finds that that topic, when people claim like he had a conversation secretly with Vladimir Putin, in his first day in office, that was clearly fiction, that was clearly made up. He did not have any conversation with Putin. And second thing, he would stop this ongoing war between these two countries, and many more things going to happen. And I will try my level best to make a one video about new tariffs of new tariffs on Mexico from Donald Trump. And when he was at his rally, the final rally in Pennsylvania, he vowed that he will put a lot of tariffs in Mexico, and the clear message to Claudia Sheinbaum that I'm going to stop people who are pouring into our country. So there are many more things are going to come up now on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe to it, hit the like and bell icon. Till then, take care. See you in next time in next video.